Hello everyone, Nature Angel here. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. If you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I appreciate and love all of you guys. All right, let's get right into this. So today's video, I want to talk about some things that I really wish teachers knew as a school psychologist. And here's a little disclaimer first. I think teachers are overwhelmed, okay? And I do not in any shape or form, I am not trying to tell teachers what to do, to try to boss people around, because we all have our own special field, and being a teacher is not my field. My field is in school psychology. So what I'm going to do in this video is talk from a school psychologist perspective and just give my insight on things that I wish the teachers knew coming from a school psychologist. It's not even meant to be criticism. It's just some things that I hope can help school psychologists and teachers alike, since we all work in the same building and we all work together. So if that interests you, and if you're wondering what I'm even talking about, then definitely keep watching. All right, I usually go through 5 things. This time I'm gonna go through 7. So let's start with number 1. The first thing that I wish teachers knew is that behaviors that you see from students can be a form of communication. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm so glad that you asked. Some students don't know how to regulate their emotions, right? And think about it. They're in pre-K up to 12th grade. Their brain not fully developed. They are learning every day different things. Obviously, when you're younger, you're learning a whole lot more than when you're older, but you're still learning and you're still developing. So how the kids react, that could be a way of them communicating. For example, some kids are going to get frustrated and then throw a tantrum, right? We see that all the time, especially in elementary school. I'm not saying that there might not be other issues here at play, but throwing a tantrum is their way of telling you that I'm frustrated and I'm acting this way because I didn't like what was just happening. They're not, trust me, they're not trying to ruin your day. That's not their goal. They're trying to communicate how they feel, and it may not be in the best way, but that is what they're trying to do. The second thing that I wish that teachers knew is that trauma looks different for everyone. So I feel like a lot of the times we always think if someone's traumatized, it's going to be outward expressions of something, right? Like we're going to see it, we're going to notice it. That is not always the case. We don't know what the trauma is, and we wouldn't know how they react because everyone's different. So yes, while some people may fit that stereotypical way of dealing with trauma that you're thinking about, that is not the case for everyone. And kind of relating that back to the point that I just made in point number 1 about how behaviors is a way of communicating, that could be a reason for why you're seeing certain behaviors, because they have trauma that wasn't dealt with properly. Like they don't know how to manage their trauma, and so they're acting out, or they're doing all these things and labeled as the bad kid, which we will get to about labeling kids later on, but they might be labeled as that in the school, and it's like you don't understand, like they've been through a lot, they don't know how to process this, just the environment they're growing up in, what have they learned, and are they using what they learned in the classroom? And that's what you're seeing. So trauma can look different for everyone, and yelling at them is not going to help solve that trauma, and it's not going to make it better. Number 3, I think this is important for school psychologists, and I really, really like this one. 3 is my favorite number also, by the way. So this is also my favorite one on the list, because number 3 is that assessing a student is not going to fix everything. So I've had teachers in the past that just don't want a student in the classroom. So they think, well, I'm gonna get them assessed, they're gonna get special education, I don't have to deal with them anymore. That could not be further from what happens because we try our best to keep students integrated in the regular classroom. If they are having issues with learning, or they are having issues behaviorally, the assessment isn't going to fix that. The job of the assessment is to first see what information can we get, what more information can we learn. And then after we learn more information, we see what we're going to do with that. And maybe we do go the route of getting special education services, but they will still be in your class unless they are deemed to be in another like special type of classroom setting where they're getting one-on-one support all the time and they have helpers. That's different, but that's not usually the case. Usually they're going to be in your classroom and you're going to have to work extra with them, and they might have a person in your classroom that helps them. So they will get extra support, but do not test a kid because you don't want them in the class. If you want a kid to be tested, we should be doing that because we're worried about, are they learning? Are they on track? If their behaviors or anything are a little out of control for the classroom, what can we do to make sure that we can keep the peace in the classroom as best as possible? But we shouldn't just jump to assessing. There's interventions that can be done. There's a whole long list of things that happen beforehand before we even get to testing. And we want to make sure that you are trying those things and that we are doing those things accurately and consistently to make sure that they work. And we want to look at data and we want to bring the data to the table. If you did all these things and they still are not working, and then we can move forward. But I just really, really wish that teachers knew that. The fourth thing, kids mirror your energy. So if you're in a classroom and you are just super positive all the time, you're probably going to have a classroom of very positive vibes. I'm not saying the classroom is going to be perfect. I'm not saying every kid is going to behave every day and listen to you all the time. But I'm saying that energy that you give off is the energy that you're going to receive from the kids. And that's what they're going to grow up in every day for that year that they're with you, especially in elementary school. If they're in a classroom and you're just being negative, you have negative energy, nothing ever stays positive, you yell all the time, that's going to bring down the mood. You're probably going to have a classroom of students that are more negative, right? Because they are watching and they are learning. And if that's what they see you doing, then they are also going to mimic and act that out as well. I'm not saying to be super positive all the time and to let them walk all over you, because there has to be a balance. But I am saying that whatever the energy is that you give off, that is what they are going to soak in and mirror and mimic. Number 5, recess is needed. Some people think that recess is a reward, and it's not. I know I'm an adult and I don't need recess, but I do not want to just sit in my seat all day. I need to get up and move at some point, even if just for a second. I cannot stay in that spot all day. Think about how little kids feel. Think about how everything is growing and they are learning. And you as a punishment want to try to make them stay in the classroom and lose recess. First of all, having that break and having recess can help students to stay regulated. So if anything, it can help them. And we all need to move. Like, if you're going to try to take away some reward, recess is not a reward. I feel like recess should be a necessity, and we can handle other behaviors in different ways without taking away recess. Number 6. This is the one that I was talking about earlier, and this is be careful about the words that you say around students and how you use them. Because if we are going around calling our students bad or calling our students lazy, they're going to internalize that, and they are not bad or lazy. Just like how a student that has autism is not the autistic kid or the special kid. All of those are negative. Everything that I just said is negative. We should be congratulating the kids when they are doing something positive, regardless if they had a terrible day and everything else they've been doing in the classroom has just been negative behavior after negative behavior. But then let's say they do one thing that's positive. You tell them that you're really proud that they did that positive thing. Just like how people would usually be quick to say when someone does something negative. We have to balance it out, and we have to recognize that there are good things that happen in a day and bad things that happen in a day. But that does not make you a bad kid for participating in those behaviors. That does not make you a good kid for participating in the others. I think we're way more than just these labels of good and bad. I think we all have good and bad actions, but that does not, that one or those few actions do not define us in who we are. And I think that when teachers say a student is bad, they are not recognizing the good that that student has done. And then that kid is just going to think, no matter what I do, I'm going to be a bad kid. And then that is when you get more negative behaviors, and we don't want that. The last thing, number 7, okay? This is important for you teachers, and I really, really hope that you guys internalize this, and that is that you do not have to have all the right answers. You do not have to do this alone, okay? Being a teacher, being in education is just difficult in general. It's just hard, right? It's really hard, especially right now with the state of the country. Anyway, though, I think that a lot of the time, just in our careers in general, we feel like we do need to have all the answers and figure it out. No, if you need help, ask for help. If you don't know something, ask someone else that may know something. Don't guess. Don't overwhelm yourself if possible. And just do the best that you can do. And when you need to lean on the village of the school, do it. Okay, that's like, we're all one big community and we're all supposed to support each other. I know, coming from a school psychologist, like, I support the kids, but I also am going to support the teachers too and their well-being, because how could I help the kids if I can't even help the ones teaching the kids, right? I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope that this is useful information for you. If you're going into school psychology, if you work in education, I think this is something we all can learn from and all can work together on trying to be better at and mindful of, because I think these are all important. If you have any other things that you want to leave down below that's related to this, please leave that down below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope that you enjoy. I'll see you later, okay?